So if you're a video game fan, you probably have this Thursday circled on your calendar because it's time for the Game Awards 2022, a show that, I can't even really lie. It's usually a pretty colossal disappointment for me. And I think the reason for that is because of the word hype. Hype is something that is created from a multitude of different ways. Sometimes an individual creates hype within themselves, hoping for something that has absolutely no chance to be there. Sometimes hype is, of course, included by, insider information saying, oh, expect this there, expect that there. But I think my beef with the Game Awards is the fact that the hype is created by the show itself, by the person itself, by the creator of the show itself, Jeff Keighley. Now, I understand you want people to tune into your show, so you gotta hype it up, but when it comes to Jeff, he's kind of like, yo, take a look at this awesome looking game that's coming out. This is a Game Awards exclusive. And then you look at the game and you're like, oh, I don't think anyone really cares about this. The Game Awards is, of course, happening this Thursday, December 8th, and once again, I'll be keeping an eye on it, I'll be watching it, but I have my expectations very low, especially when it comes to the big three, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. Now, if you watched last year, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo pretty much just skipped the Game Awards. They didn't have anything interesting. They didn't have anything worthwhile to talk about. Some people believed it was a COVID-related thing. The industry was still getting its footing back. Some people felt that it was Jeff just sort of overpromising things. Who really knows what the actual reason was, but I think we can all agree those three companies didn't have much to showcase last year. But this year, for some reason, a lot of people think it's going to be different. They think it's going to be the return of the Game Awards, and there's going to be some exciting stuff. So today I want to focus on Nintendo and some of the things that are being said about Nintendo, things that are being expected from Nintendo, even though realistically Nintendo hasn't been there for the past 2 years. Last year they literally had an advertisement. But I want to go over some of the common things that people are expecting to be there and sort of give you guys my impressions on whether or not this is going to actually be at the show, because it's the last effort for Nintendo to do something interesting in 2022 if they decide to do something at the Game Awards. Obviously, I don't expect any big Nintendo announcements for the rest of the year, at least coming from the company themselves, but at least with the Game Awards, you have millions and millions of people watching worldwide, so if you want to talk about something, it's not a bad place to do it. Now, of course, we have seen hardware at the Game Awards before with the Xbox Series X a couple years ago. Will Nintendo showcase new hardware at this event? No, stop that. Stop that. If that's something you're hyping for yourself, just stop, because I don't want you to be disappointed. I will say there is absolutely zero chance of there being new Nintendo hardware at this event. If there is, I will take a bite out of my Balan Wonderworld calendar that John from Spawnwave gave me, and I will eat it. I will eat it. A portion of it, but I'll eat it. There's absolutely no chance of hardware at this event. Another thing that people are kind of hoping for, kind of potentially hyping up within themselves, is something Metroid related. This seems to be like an ongoing gag at this point in time. Many people said that Metroid Prime remake, as far as the trilogy was concerned, was going to be at the Game Awards, 3 years ago? It was something that was supposedly already done. I caught a lot of egg on my face talking about that because so many people were so sure about it. The Game Awards came and went, of course, and there's no Metroid. You might have gotten like a Metroid pin. There's a Metroid pin on the stage. I don't know. That could be something. But obviously these games have been missing in action. A lot of people and industry insiders said that Metroid Prime 1 remake was something that was definitely coming this year, and then that didn't happen either. There's been no announcement of a Metroid Prime remaster, and some people think, well, maybe it's going to be at the Game Awards 2022. I just don't see that being a thing. Now, honestly, it would sort of make sense because Metroid is a core title for Nintendo. It is more of a hardcore niche franchise. Let's be realistic. According to the latest Nintendo sales reports, the game has not eclipsed 3 million copies yet on a system that has sold over 111 million units worldwide. So it's more of a niche title. I still love Metroid, but I'm also able to realize that it's never going to be a seller quite like Zelda or quite like a game like Mario is. But I think the fact that we have seen stuff like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC sort of leads people to believe that Nintendo isn't above making a large and sizable announcement at this event. Do I think it's going to happen? Once again, I definitely just don't think so. I think that it is a very, very small occurrence itself because Nintendo just doesn't seem to care that much about Metroid to give it a lot of pomp and circumstance, especially at an event that is not their event. What about Metroid Prime 4? No, probably not. I just don't see it being within the cards because we haven't heard anything about this game since the last time we heard about it, which was, hey, we're starting this game from scratch. You know, there's some issues with it. Speaking about The Legend of Zelda, some people think that there's going to be a new Tears of the Kingdom trailer at this event. Maybe we can learn more about the mystical door that was showcased at the start of this game. Where does the door lead to? Why is the purpose of the door? Who made the door? What sort of wood is this door made out of? I also don't think that that's going to be something at this event. I just feel like Nintendo is going to want to talk about Tears of the Kingdom on their own time. We have to be realistic here. This is a company that does do a usual early spring Nintendo Direct, usually in the month of February. Considering the fact that Tears of the Kingdom isn't coming out until May, I just think that's a better timing thing. We've already seen a little bit of a trailer, kind of this game, so I feel like that's a more realistic thing. So this whole entire video has been me telling you what not to expect, crushing your hopes and crushing your dreams because I like doing things like that. So then what should we expect, if anything, at this event? I still think that there's a very small chance that Nintendo is even there, but let's say that they do show up, or let's say that they send in a trailer of something to be showcased during this. What could it potentially be? I really have two different things circled on my calendar when it comes to that. I really have two different things that I feel like have the best possible chance of being there. The first thing is a Fire Emblem Engage trailer. Now, you might be saying, well, why would they do that? You got to remember, Fire Emblem Engage actually comes out in January, so Nintendo's not going to have a whole lot of leeway time between then and now to be put on a big showcase. We're not getting a Nintendo Direct before this game comes out, so why not have a brand new Fire Emblem trailer to sort of showcase some of the elements of the game that have maybe been a bit hidden, or just get people excited about the game. This is obviously going to be a big way for Nintendo to start off 2023. It's a first-party title. It's a franchise that has been doing better with recent entries. So I think that a Fire Emblem Engage trailer is honestly something that has the best possible chance of being at this event. It just makes sense from a timeline perspective. And then, of course, we have the biggest mystery, and that is GoldenEye 007, because this game is obviously coming to Nintendo Switch Online. We have learned about it. It's coming to Nintendo Switch via the N64 aspect of the online stuff. It's the only version of the game to have online play, as the Xbox version won't have any online play. It'll just be the single player experience, and we haven't seen this game. We haven't seen anything from this game. If you've been following the channel, you would know that I sort of feel like GoldenEye is going to have a little bit of extra polish comparative to some of the other N64 games. When you look at some of the N64 games that have come out on Nintendo Switch Online, games like Pilot Wing 64 actually had a bump in the frame rate of the game and made the game run much smoother. When you play GoldenEye 007, especially in the multiplayer, you would know it's not great. For the time, it was good because it was a 4-screen, local multiplayer game, and there wasn't any real first-person shooters out on the market for home consoles at that time. It was something that was dominated by the PC. But in 2022 and beyond standards, yeah, it's not all that good. So I feel like there is going to be some extra polish on this, some extra, maybe even bells and whistles with it. We don't know about a December Nintendo Switch Online game for the N64 either, so it kind of does make sense. GoldenEye still definitely has that nostalgic feeling for a lot of people, and it's something that I feel would be a very good fit at the Game Awards, and something that would get people excited. Something like, hey, GoldenEye 007 for N64 comes out next week, or even as a stealth drop at the event. I think that would be a really cool thing. But in all honesty, I'm not really expecting much from any company at the Game Awards 2022. Beyond just the fact that, 2021 was so disappointing, I just feel like a lot of companies have sort of moved on from this event because they like to do things on their own time now. We've seen it time and time again with a lot of events recently where the companies are just like, yo, we'll do our own thing. Xbox has their own presentations, PlayStation has their own presentations, and Nintendo does too. Maybe I'll be a bit surprised though. You know, I feel like if you set yourself up for disappointment, you don't expect anything, and then something happens, then you're in a little bit of a better place. But really, if nothing interesting happens at the Game Awards for any company, maybe it's time to reevaluate this whole thing. Maybe it's time to just make it an award show with like not a lot of announcements, because I feel like at the end of the day, that's the focus of the show. The focus of the show is not on the awards. If it was, they wouldn't rapid fire these awards and give out like 5 at one time. It's more so on the announcements, more so on the excitement. And it just seems like the past few years, it's been lacking in those terms. But let me know what you think of this in the comments section down below. Do you see Nintendo or any other company doing something interesting at the Game Awards this year? And if so, what are you hoping for and what are you expecting? And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Hit the bell notification as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.